We got branded in 2013-2014 as Adjei City Estates.
So what were you before?
People know us for Obolo Real Estate.
Obolo
Real Estate. Yes.
That's original.
Yeah, that's original. When it comes to affordability within the industry, nobody comes near Adjei City Estates. And we are still counting for the numerous awards that we've won over the period. And we are still counting.
Are there any reforms or policies you would like to see in the housing sector that will make it more accessible and investor friendly?
Very well. I think it's so important. The first one we are always looking at is the policy direction. You know, this is able to set out what we can do as members within the organization, as in GREDA, and what we can do as developers. You know, the industry is multifaceted, and so you cannot do it alone. You need some kind of partnership to do it. And one of the most crucial things that we can have is a policy direction from the government point of view.
Okay.
That will shape the way we do our things. You know, if they are able to step in, it will have that resultant effect in the way we are able to even secure our lands.
Okay.
You know, there have been a lot of confusion over land acquisition.
Yes.
A lot of confusion over registration of even lands. Not just acquisition, but how to even get a title has always been a challenge. One of the other issues also confronting us in the industry is the financing bit. Look at the exorbitant interest rates at the bank. How can you be in business with this high level of interest rates? So we want to see government coming in so that once we partner the banks and there's that policy directives, if a developer or a company who is into real estate is assessing finance, it should be considered on a different level altogether. Because if we put premium and priority on the needs of the people in terms of housing, that means we need to be doing certain things differently.
Of course.
And all these are reforms that we are looking ahead to see. And that is why there have been a lot of engagement with GREDA and the government and other things. So the interest rate is part, the land acquisition is also another key factor that we need to look at. We need to be protected. We need to be given the first option at any point in time. You can hear government doing affordable housing and other things. It has been something that has been going on, but it doesn't see the light of the day. Because the real members that are doing things professionally, they are doing things better, they must be consulted. So this collaboration, but I've seen some form of collaboration now, which we think that we can be better off by doing more of the engagement, by doing policies that will protect the members of GREDA, because they are ready and well poised to deliver. So all these things are areas that we can clearly look at and make sure that the industry is thriving. So some of these reforms are very, very important. A developer will go and take a land in his bid to just develop. There will be a lot of these litigation and the whole lot. It doesn't augur well for the entire industry. So we are hoping that these reforms will come to play so that we'll be able to make sure that we are contributing also our quota to the housing deficit that we all have or facing us at the moment.
Marvelous. What has been your biggest leadership?
The challenge, eh? yes. You know, because I know where you are coming from. So the challenge is always there. You know, you cannot thrive in this industry without going through challenges.
Yes.
You know, it is something, in as much as you want to pursue your passion, these challenges are inevitable. It has to come. And that is why we are there. And so it's been getting the people to understand how we work. And this is something that always sits down with my group CEO, Dr. Bright Adam, getting the right people to work with. You know, he wants to impart, he wants to share. And all of us, once we work as a team, we want to impart, we want to share. But the people, the mindset, and that has been the greatest challenge. You know, you must build your leadership based on succession at any point in time.
Yes.
So one of the difficulties has been the leadership gap that is always created. Because in as much as we are delivering, who are those who take over to the next generation? So one of the challenges is getting the right human resource to work with in the industry. That is very key. Me, I see that as key, because you can have all your materials that you are working with, but you don't have the people. Where are you drifting to? It's so important. So most of the time it's about the people. The people. One key entrepreneur said, Jeff Bezos, they said that it's about the people. So once we get the right people with the right frame of mind, other things can always be tackled. The challenges are going to be there. If you come to get into the mainstream industry, the challenges, you can talk about the financing, you can talk about the materials, inadequate material or lack of even materials to build. And then price fluctuations here and there. You go for a price quotation today, tomorrow it is changing. But we are looking forward to see stability in the way we do our things. So they are enormous, but we think that is where leaders must think right and must start right. You should be ahead in the way you do your things, and it is something that it's something that we can always work on at any point in time. Yeah.
How do you handle setbacks as a leader?
Setbacks, I said, is totally inevitable. If you don't go through those things, we often say that a setback is a setup for continuity. If you see or have a setback, it means that you need a setback. It makes sure that you are going to do your things right. You don't, as a leader, you have to get things at the back of your mind that things are not going to be rosy. Challenges are part of the game. Setbacks are part of the game. People that you think must do A and they are doing B, drawing your vision back. These are things. And because you work with people, all these things are bound to come. So these setbacks can come. But you need to position yourself to make sure that you are taking advantage. That is why we say we leverage on even the setbacks to do things right. Mind you, people will always do things you inspect, not what you expect.
I like that.
Yes, if you expect
things
that,
you inspect,
yes.
not things you expect.
No. If you don't expect, it's not going to be done. In our industry, and my CEO always keep hammering on this, that he wants to protect the people by inspecting so that they don't fall into trouble. That's one of the key philosophies of Dr. Bright Adom. So it's so important. The setbacks, there'll be difficulties and challenges. What you don't expect will come today, tomorrow. But these are all things that makes you a leader.
Of course.
Yes, a leader must be resilient. A leader must not bow down your head. You must just out and make sure that you are taking a position, because you are driving people. You are driving a vision. You have said to yourself that you want to be in an affordable bracket. And so nobody asks you to be there. So when setbacks come, you make sure that you leverage them. You don't wish them away, and you don't move away from that particular setbacks. But what lessons do you learn from the setbacks so that you don't repeat those things again? So they are part of life.
For the diasporans who are a bit hesitant about investing back home in real estate, some want to get property, but some have been burned and some have heard stories. What advice do you have for these people?
I think, Akosia, they should get the needed information. The lack of information make them take decisions that doesn't work out well for them. Like you said, some of them have got their hands bent and then they have bought property. Some do call. Interestingly, they will tell you that, oh, Reverend, I've gone to buy this one here. Can you follow up for me? And I keep reminding them that Usikarashi. Because at the end of the day, they need to get credible organizations. That's why GREDA is there. You can do your own little background checks. They are credible members who are doing credible business. Not the one-sided people and then the way-sided people who are doing business 2x4 and other things. Look at GREDA members, the way they are positioned, the way they are driving their businesses. So if you want to buy a land, if you want to buy a house, do a little bit of checks. And then make sure that you are getting the information from the right source for you to take a decision. In some of our engagements with them, in our own small way, we've engaged a lot of these diaspora people, having Zoom meetings with them, in-person meetings also with them, advising them as to the decisions that they need to take. And even if you want to buy a land, where to look out for. For instance, Adom City, if you want to buy a land from us, you are at liberty to ask all the questions that you want. If you are in diaspora, you can make your representative come along with us. We don't take anything from you. We will drive you to the site and make sure that you have you see it for yourself. Again, if there are background checks that you need to have, you can request for title, land certificates, and the rest. And even the environment itself, you can conduct your own due diligence to know that this is a credible land. So these are some few things that they need to do. I think that they are always yearning to invest. But the problem has always been the people or the right information that they don't have, and people who swindle them. So we are advising them that GREDA is there, but whichever company that you want to work with, get this information, the background information, or you can deal with the company directly in your own way, get your representative to go and inspect anything that you have, anything at all, do it. There are also legal advice that you can also seek. You know, people want the right thing. At times, they don't want to go through the channels that will help them make better decisions. So I'll advise them, it's a new dawn. The industry is thriving. There are credible people, credible developers. GREDA is there. Seek out or look out for information that will make you make a very important informed decision. Because your acquisition of property is life.
It is.
It is your life. It is your peace of mind. So if you don't do it right, it's not other well for you.
For people who want to invest in real estate, for the young Ghanaians who want to venture into the real estate business, what piece of advice would you give to them?
I always look at it this way. They must learn. They must learn from the people who have taken the lead. Your inability to learn will land you into areas that will put your passion, you know, because you don't learn. Once you get your fingers bent, your passion dies off. So I'm looking at this way. Look out for information for people who have taken the lead in the industry. We have a lot of prominent people. I see people coming to Dr. Bright Adom to seek for information as to how they can do their things. We want to start this. And he's always there to offer free advice, free consultancy for you. They must be ready to learn. They must not rush. They must not rush. Learn from them. When you learn from them, you're able to know the rudiments in the business. Yes. For instance, I keep learning. Because if somebody is in need of a land purchase here, I will refer you to Dr. because he knows the in and out of the whole thing, and he should be able to advise you. So I'm saying that they must be ready to learn. They must be ready to submit. Take cues from people who have taken the lead so that they can make informed decisions. So they shouldn't be in a rush. It's a very, in quotes, chaotic industry. If you don't think right, if you don't start right, if you don't approach it right, you are going to get your fingers bent. So the simple advice, learn from the people who have taken the lead. Learn from the GREDA president as well. Learn from the members, executive council. They are all there so that it makes life better for you.
So you mentioned you've been in banking, you've been in real estate. If you hadn't ended up in real estate, what sector do you think you would be in? What would you do?
I was still, because all these brackets offers me the opportunity to serve humanity. And one of the biggest form of serving humanity is providing shelter for them.
That's true.
The industries that I've worked, the banking field, the investment field, administrative field, I've always been blessed to have a role to play with customer service and clients interaction. At the end of the day, you are seeking the good of the person. If smiles come into the faces of someone that you have worked with or you have interacted with, it fulfills, it brings a lot of fulfillment. So I'm still in the same thing. I would think that in the banking you were 7. If in the investment field you were 7. If in a real estate you are still 7, you keeping on. Interacting with people is a dream. It's a passion. So most often than not, that is the area that I excel a lot.
Okay.
Engaging people and getting results and making sure that I'm getting results for them. At the end of the day, we are driving the boat together.
What do you do to unwind?
That's a very smart question. I do a lot of reading.
Okay.
And I do a lot of church things.
Okay. Reverend.
You see? So the church things always come to play. But I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of research. At least I always want to come out with innovative ways that we can do things. And when you stop learning, you start dying. So I'm always eager to learn. So to unwind, yes, I sing. I listen to a lot of music.
You have to do one line for us before we go.
I could say I want to put me in trouble. But that's good. That's a smart one. So, yes, these are all things engaging people. Like I said, it falls into the passion that I have for people. Engaging people, trying to be there for them. The singing, the reading, and then the family life also takes the center stage. And so key and dear to my heart.
Are there any major developments coming up for Adom City or any current ones that we need to know about?
Absolutely. You know, for Adom City, we listen and we develop. And always we say that dream it, we make it happen. Just dream it. I want an affordable house. Just dream it. People who are listening to me, just dream it.
I want an affordable house.
So you are at the right place at the right time. So a lot of developments are coming on. You know, we have our prime development going on at the Winya Community 25.
Okay.
We have 2-bedroom units, we have 3-bedroom units, we even have 1-bedroom units available.
Okay.
That people, you know, the categories of people you want to serve is like a buffet. Whatever you want, you take it. Not all hands are the same.
Of course.
So we think that there must be different product lines that people can choose from. So Community 25, Dawinya, we are doing a lot of projects in there. Community 22, the Michelle Camp Road, after Hotovin. We have a site also there that we are developing 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. A gated community, a very beautiful place. We call it Community 22 Mateko.
Okay.
So it is another beautiful place that you can count on Adom City. Go and look at the beautiful units and make a choice. We are doing some development at the toll booth Damfa.
Okay.
The bridge stretch. You know, our strategy has always been the entry points. You know, that is something that we set up for ourselves. You know, when you're engaging people, I know you do a lot of marketing as well. You engage people, they will tell you, don't you have this development at this stretch?
Yes.
Don't you have this? It means that if you don't position yourself well, you are losing all these people. So as part of our game and as part of our strategy, all these entry points where people make choices, and then because of where they come from. Me, I'm from Easton. I'm from
so I want a house
Volta. Me, I'm from this. And so we try as much as possible to make ourselves very relevant in all these areas. So we have Community 25, we have Community 22 on the Michelle Camp Stretch. We have Damfa. Damfa is at the toll booth, just from the toll booth, you branch right, just some 10 minutes drive to the site. Another beautiful scenery.
Okay.
And you know that Adom City is more of affordability, reliability. When you are switching over for the peace of mind. And you know, our prices are cool in cities. As for the dollars, it's far away from us.
No dollar business.
So that is why where we find ourselves now. In terms of the land, like you said, we offer houses for sale, and we also give opportunity for people to build. You know, people will come in and say, oh, I don't like
your design.
I don't like the design. And that is why strategically we have given out some sites for people to buy
and
build. You know, for Kuntunsi Stretch, people who are yearning to feel our presence in there, now those lands are for sale. Kuntunsi, behind the DVLA, we have a land site that we are selling. If people are building, it's a very beautiful place. That is Kuntunsi. We have Kaswa as well. You know, Kaswa, don't forget about your roots. So we have a lot of businesses going on there, Kaswa. We have a vast land, also they're very affordable, that anybody at all, you know, as we talk about Kuntunsi, somebody will say, I want Kaswa. So we want to make sure that all these opportunities are there for them. Then we have Becheli, the Community 22 Michelle Camp Stretch.
Okay.
Yes, Hallelujah Junction.
Okay.
Just that stretch. Another gated place, Lando, but gated. You know, somebody visited the site. They say, "Hey, you have put a lock there." Yes, so that is what we can afford. And then we have Afinia Mateko.
Okay.
On that same stretch, Afinia Towboat. Right there, Mateko, we have another gated landlet. And then we have Shy
Hill.
Eastern Quarry Junction, just by the roadside. Another beautiful scenery. All our lands are serviced. We go as much as possible to make sure that all these amenities are also there, erecting electricity poles and all those kind of stuff. So these are areas that people can look up to Adom City for their peace of mind.
How can we contact Adom City Estates?
Adom City Estates can always be reached. You know, we, as part of our business, we set up a call center.
Okay.
It's a 24/7 call center. It's a contact center that people, you know, you mentioned
I think
diaspora.
that is unique
yes,
to
very,
you.
very, very unique. It's one of the innovations that we came out with. Kudos and thanks to my group CEO, that people are reaching out from all over. What can we do differently? So it's a contact center, 24/7. We have well-trained people who pick up calls. Because whilst you are sleeping here, somebody is awake somewhere.
Of course.
So we think that all these things must come to play in terms of whatever we want. So in terms of our numbers, you can reach out to Adom City on 0501 280 9066. It is a number that you can reach us on, and for businesses to thrive. So these are areas that we can look at. And then there are other numbers that we can also look at. There's other numbers that we can also look at. I've mentioned the 0501 289066. And then we also have 050 8676545. 050 8676545. And then 0501 289066. You can reach out to Adom City. Let's talk. There is something that we always say. Get in touch and let's talk. We can delve deeper into the things that you want us to do, and we can be able to advise you along the line. Let viewers also know that we are not just in for business. All these advisory services we offer, because people come in here to seek for advice. They don't patronize maybe our product in the meantime. But at least when they are advised, they are able to make informed decisions. So our doors are always open.
Thank you very much. What do you think of this concept of GREDA TV?
Excellent. I repeat, excellent.
Thank you.
You are doing a great job.
Thank you.
You are in the team.
Thank you.
Because, you know, you are giving a platform for people to reach out to get information. I think I reiterated that point.
Yes.
That people don't have information. And this platform is giving people the in-depth knowledge as to how they can do your things. I know there are a lot of topical issues that you delve into. Land litigation, acquisition, and all those kind of things. Mortgages. How do we even acquire mortgages? These are areas, they are topical issues that we can look at, giving information to the public. So I can say that you are doing a good job. Keep it up. Kudos to you and the team.
Thank you
and kudos to GREDA. It is a very wonderful innovation that we can always take advantage of. Keep it up.
We're happy to help.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, any last words?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Akusi and the team, for the opportunity. You know, I don't take it for granted at all. It is something that we'll keep doing as Adom City. The pride of housing, making sure that everybody has a decent place to lay his or her head. And we are also proud of our group CEO as well for the decision to still stay in the affordable bracket whilst other people are moving away from it. And I think it is something that is always on his heart. And we say kudos to him, that the Lord will give him grace. He's a man of grace. The Adom himself.
Adom.
The Adom factor. We pray that Adom factor will keep working for us. So it has been an exciting time. We appreciate your coming. And we want to still tell the public that Adom City is there for you. We are there to hear you. We are there to listen to you. We don't put you in a box. We want flexibility. We want reliability. We want peace of mind. Reach out to us and we'll always be there for you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Akuzia. It's an honor to have you. Thank
Likewise.
you.